Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am currently a little bit over 5 weeks out of my next show, and this prep has been a little bit different than the last one in the sense of me having more carbs, doing less cardio, and now we've included some ground beef into the mix, and that's why I wanted to show you guys my go-to ground beef recipe during this prep because honestly it's been tasting amazing and I look forward to it every single day and it's super easy to make. So let's get started. So I've been preheating my little Dutch oven for about a minute, and now we're going to add 16 ounces of ground beef. I got organic ground beef, the 93.7, so that it's a little bit leaner, but it still has a tiny bit more fats, and that's the aim for this meal. It's a little bit higher in fats. Also, I feel that the amino acids that the ground beef has been helping me a lot with getting stronger at the gym. I've been lifting way heavier and recovering way better. So it's been working amazing for my body. I am just going to be making it into a more even surface right here, not adding anything just yet. You want the beef to start getting a little bit of color, and then that's when I start adding the other ingredients. So this will take a tiny bit of time, but you will start to see the beef to kind of stick together once it was separated, and that's totally normal. You are going to do a little workout with your arm, mixing it up so that it doesn't turn into a giant meatball. So then, now that it's a little bit warmer, there's more steam coming out, we can start adding some of the ingredients, not all, because there's a reason that I don't do it personally. So before it starts sticking to the bottom, we are going to start with adding some garlic powder, some oregano, onion powder, paprika. All of these I've measured a teaspoon. It depends on the amount of beef that I'm using. Since I was using the 16 ounces, I believe that this is enough flavor for this amount of meat. So now you're gonna stir it all in, making sure that it's as even as possible. And from there, you see how it's starting to have some gray areas. You kind of don't want it to stay gray. If you cook the ground beef just to that point where everything just turns out that color, some people just leave it like that. I personally cannot. I try to make sure that I take all the moisture out first, and then after, using the amount of fat that is remaining from the beef itself, then that's what caramelizes or makes that ground beef a little bit, more brown in color and more yummy in texture. It gets a little bit more grainy in a sense, but it's amazing. Can't wait to have it tonight. And yeah, you just continue stirring, stirring, stirring. Another little freaking workout, but it's definitely worth it. So now that it's stirred quite a bit, we're going to be adding some cayenne pepper. I put a tiny bit less than a teaspoon because if not, it's a little bit overwhelming for the other flavors. Also, if my husband wants to have some of it, he's not too into as much spice as I, so I try to be mindful. And every single time that I cook this ground beef and he comes home from work, he always says, "Oh my gosh, it smells amazing. I can't wait for dinner." And yeah, ladies, a way to a man's stomach, a way to a man's heart is through his stomach. So Maybe that's a little love potion, this recipe right here. So now we're gonna continue stirring. I have not added the salt just yet because salt does bring out the moisture even more. And since we're stirring the beef quite a bit, we are kind of making the actual meat kind of in a sense more tough. So that's why I don't add the salt right in the beginning, because it's kind of like a mushroom that if you add salt to mushroom in the beginning, then it absorbs all the flavor. Number one, it's going to be salty. Number two, all the liquid comes out. So this is a perfect mix so far. Now, some people leave it like this, and this is what I mean that it has moisture still. So I am going to crank up the heat a little bit higher. I had it at medium heat, and now it's going to be not at high, but in between. And just continue stirring a little bit more, just in case there are some clumps that got together that are a little bit bigger than what we want. And then we're going to leave it like that for a tiny bit. Let it do its thing. And now it's starting to sizzle. And that is perfect, because the sizzling is the part that is cooking the beef at the bottom. You will have to be checking up on it every so often as well because of the heat. The Dutch oven does get a little bit warmer, and you don't want it to stick, but you want it to start crisping a tiny bit. And I love that. Who doesn't love a little bit of crispies? That's like when you make a pasta sauce and you crisp up the meats and but we can't do that. So we have the same technique, but in a healthier alternative. There's always good technique in cooking, and you can always cook with love, even if it's something a little bit healthier. This is kind of, in a sense, like comfort food for me at this point, because it's just so flavorful. And it has rice. I mix it with rice and asparagus. And the asparagus, I make it with salt and paprika. The rice, I cook it with just salt. So the flavoring of the actual beef just seeps through everything, and it just tastes incredible. I'm going to show you guys once it's complete and once I have my meal so you can see how I serve it. But yeah, look, it's getting less moisture than before. And then now that it still has a slight bit of moisture, we are going to add the salt, because the tiny bit of moisture that's left is going to make it easier to stir through, but not make too much excess come out, because all of that was supposed to come out already came out and evaporated. So yeah, it's taken I don't know how many minutes, but very quick. We are almost done with this recipe. I can't complain with the time. My hand just hurts a tiny bit, but we have food. Oh yeah, the sizzling is getting louder, which means things are getting crispy. All right. Now, once you have that all done, you're gonna turn off the heat, and you're gonna put on the lid and let the meat do its thing until it gets to a little bit over room temperature, because the Dutch oven is going to make it warm for a longer period of time, and then just serve it up and have a nice dinner. So I'll catch you in a little bit. All right, now it's time to start prepping our food. I'm gonna start with our asparagus, which I made a few days ago, so I always keep it frozen because it's just 5 spears, and I have them cut in half, so using my little clean fingers is gonna make it easier to separate and put it onto the plate. So here we have 3 asparagus, 4, and the last 2, which this one is really skinny, number 5. That's that. Then we're gonna get some rice. Here we're gonna measure it out. The rice does stick together once it's cold. So that's the only extra work that we have to do. And we're about to get to where we need to be. Come on, give me what we want. Oh no, now it's gonna be over. Ah, it's over by 2 grams. So let's try to get it back to at least 100. Oh my gosh. It's tedious being on prep. Now it says 99. Great. I think we are okay. It says 101. I give up. Now it's back to 100. I think we're good. And then we are going to just go back to 0 in case. And now we get to put our ground beef that we made. Oh man. And now I tapped it, so we have to re-zero it and put it back. And now we can serve our portion. We're almost there. Perfect. And then later we'll put all of this away. And now we just have to heat it up in the microwave and enjoy. So here we have it. We have the rice with the asparagus and the ground beef. It smells absolutely amazing. All we have to do is stir it all together and we get to enjoy it. Oh my God, with the steam, that smell is just hitting my nose in all the right ways. Let's get that in and enjoy. Hey babe, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, just eating.
Good. Smells great. What is that?
The ground beef that we make.
Oh, nice. Can't wait to sample some of that later. Possibly. Did you leave anything extra for me?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Love you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, there you have it. He obviously likes it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And let me know in the comments down below what you would like to see next from my prep, so we can all share thoughts and go through it. Have a great day, guys. Bye.